Well, I have to tell you about something that you are going to miss out on.
I feel like I'm missing out already. Like the FOMO it's here.
Well, and you're missing out because you're recording remotely today. And so likely the next time I will be looking across the table at a co-host, it will likely be Carl. And I don't think this thing can wait it definitely can't wait until all three of us are in the room, because I don't who knows when the hell that'll ever happen.
Sure.
Which is actually a ridiculous shame, and I don't like that.
Yeah, we need to remedy that, honestly.
It doesn't happen often enough. But in my possession,
sure,
there is a shoebox.
Neat.
Yes. Full of
baseball
mysterious
cards. Baseball cards.
I don't know. Full of adult mysterious nerd paraphernalia. So you know how you can get
I'm uncomfortable.
Loot Crate, you know those subscription boxes? There's Loot Crate.
Adult paraphernalia?
Nerdy.
I don't know, man.
Objects, items.
Sure.
You know how there's Loot Crate? There's all these subscription boxes.
Oh yeah, it's like a fad almost, like everything. Yeah.
So and I for a while, a couple years back, every day you heard of a new one, right? There was the horror box and the I think even Funko, I think Pop Figures did one, and and you'd get a T-shirt and maybe a comic book and maybe a pop figure and some other stuff, right? So there was one called Nerd Block, or I assume maybe it still exists, and someone reached out to me this past week and said, "Hey, I have a box full of," I don't think this was one nerd block. I don't think this is hey, this is what came in this box and I'm not interested in it. I think it's I have a box from one of the deliveries and I've filled it with stuff that I'm not interested in and other people aren't interested in, closely in my circles. So I would like the podcast to have it.
Oh, wow.
And that would be Movie Men podcast superfan Daphne.
Let's go.
And so it's here.
Okay.
I don't know what's in it.
I mean, have you X-rated? I love and appreciate Daphne as much as anyone, but is there a chance it's a bomb?
No, I think I've ruled out at this point a puppy, or at least a
live puppy,
living puppy. Yeah.
Oh my heavens!
Because the box doesn't rattle or shake or anything like that.
Oh man.
But yeah, it's for the podcast.
Okay.
And I think whatever's in it, we open it up and we clear some shelf space in the studio and we decorate with it, but I have no idea what's in it.
I mean, I'm intrigued. The listener has to be intrigued. What else can they be?
So all that's to say, if you it's going to be coming up soon, an on the air unboxing. But had you been here in person, we'd be going through this box right now, and it'd be
be a mystery and an experience for sure.
Yeah, it'd be oh wow, a lost in translation mug
for Carl.
And then I would write to Daphne and be really, you didn't want this?
You know what would be wild? If there was a game of Twisters in there.
That would be weird. I was about to say that's a nice segue. It's not, but it was a segue. Hello and welcome.
Welcome to the Movie Men podcast. I am one of the co-hosts. My name is Peter, and my not impressed by the Twister reference co-host is Brady.
You got real formal there. It was I am one of the co-hosts.
Hey.
Just in case,
and furthermore, shall be referred to as Pete.
So I will also tell you, and we've kind of just had a discussion about this, but like off air before really pre-show. We had a pre-show conversation about this. But I will tell you.
Hold on, I'm just going to put a pin. Just if the listener hasn't read this, we're obviously here to talk about the new release Twisters.
Right.
We will get to that shortly.
Yes.
But just in case you're like, did I click the right episode? They're talking about like a box, and is this a movie with Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt? And no, it's not that. We are going to talk about Twisters.
Oh, did I watch the wrong Twisters? But no, I was going to tell you, I think it was yesterday, Brienne, my girlfriend, told me that she came very close to texting you and giving you shit for not being on the podcast more often. Like completely unprompted. Like completely unprompted. Like I wasn't like, hey, what do you think of how little Pete's on? No. She was just like, I almost texted Pete today. And I was like, oh? And she's like, yeah, because I wanted to listen to the podcast and they're just all Carl episodes. And she's like, which, don't get me wrong, are fine. You know? But like, she's been listening since day one, right? She misses.
Yeah.
It's a different dynamic.
It does.
It is.
You know what? I need to come back more.
Yeah. Shall we do this?
Let's do it. I'm pumped. We're here for a new release. It's been a hot minute since I've been on the show, but more importantly, since we've done a new release. And like, what better film to review than You're Cherished?
I mean, this is like quasi new release at this point.
It's newer than the Twister from the 90s.
It's true. Yes. It's newer than a review of Lawrence of Arabia. Like, I don't really mean. Yeah.
Well, let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah. Initial impressions. What the shit is this movie?
Oh. Wow.
I'm sorry. Too aggressive? No, listen, when they announced that there was going to be a new Twister film, I was, and let the record show, you can go back and find this for yourself.
Yep.
I was exuberant. I was like, yeah, I was open to the idea, and I welcomed a new installment. I was excited for the potential that might hold.
Sure.
Then the trailer came out, and I was a little less warm to it. I was still like, okay, you know what? Just a trailer, right? There are shitty trailers for great movies. There are great trailers for shitty movies, right?
It's tough to gauge sometimes, right?
Yeah, so I'm like, the trailer didn't work for me really all that much, but that doesn't mean I won't like the film. So I'm going to try not to pass too much judgment until the time is right. And then I watched it, and there's one really great scene in this movie where I actually audibly said after I was like, oh, this is a great scene.
Interesting.
The rest of the time, I spent a lot of time, my eyes were sore from rolling so much.
Oh my heavenly goodness.
I think there's a lot of things that this film doesn't do near as good as the original. Wow. Despite, and it's almost doubly bad because it's not just this film, this aspect of this film didn't do as good as the original, but it's compounded by the fact that a lot of those aspects are aspects that this film is clearly trying to recreate. And so it's just kind of like, it's not even like, well, you chose to carve your own path, and
right.
Like this to me, this film, and I'll wrap up my initial impression here, but this
honestly,
film really struggles with it. It wants its own independence, but it doesn't. Right? Like this was, and sorry to any of our fans to the east, but this feels like back when in Canadian politics, there was all this like, oh, Quebec wants to break free and not be a part of Canada anymore, but they still want to use our dollar, right? Like it just,
Right.
or like, a teenager who's like, I don't want to live here anymore and I'm not a part of this family, yet they don't buy their own damn groceries and are still eating out of the fridge, right? Like it was like, we want to be our own thing, but we're just going to take everything that the first film did and try to do it again. But we're asshats, so we're not going to do it as well. So that's my initial impression.
Holy goodness, there is so much to unpack there.
Yeah, just chew on that for a second.
There's so much to chew. Like, I need to take a bite and then savor it a little bit and then chew a little bit more. Listen, I thought I was going to come in here with a completely different attitude and perspective than yours. Or, sorry, than what I was going to say. And because of the perspective and the direction you've come in, I've actually had a fundamentally, like, I'm going to be coming in at a different direction.
Now, do you feel a little bit like you were coming in with some criticisms, but now you feel like you're on the defense?
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
So I honestly was coincidentally watching Top Gun Maverick last night because just why not? And
Yeah, well, I mean, throw a dart at a calendar. Pete's probably watching Top Gun Maverick.
And so here's the thing, another Glenn Powell movie, obviously, and another Legacy sequel, obviously. And the thing that I was kind of coincidentally comparing, I was literally laying around today and I was going, Top Gun Maverick is good. It's a complete carbon copy of the original. When you break it down, it's like, you break down different sequences, different things that happen. It's like, there's, you can see the blueprint. You can see the blueprint. But, pardon me. But what drives it is compelling characters and those characters coming to life and just good acting, good writing, all that kind of stuff. And that's honestly how I felt for this movie. Yeah, it's like the blueprint is even more obvious than in Top Gun Maverick. In this movie, it's quite clear, but I really liked the characters' dynamics in this. And
interesting.
I listen, the stuff that I was going to hit on before I kind of went on this rant is I like it. I think it's a great popcorn flick. I don't think it's as fundamentally life-changing as Top Gun Maverick. I read different pundits saying this is this year's Top Gun Maverick, the must-see movie in theaters. I do think that's a bit much. I think that's setting a bit too high of a bar. But man, was it ever a fun popcorn flick? Yes, it was a huge Dodge Ram commercial, but it took that template and made interesting characters come off the screen for me. And it was entertaining, simple to follow, easy to follow, again, because it's the same blueprint, but it's an intense ride. And I'm never left questioning what my characters' underlying goals are or what their objectives are. I do find the ending a little unresolving, that it seems like some of the goals and objectives are not solved. But I've got concerns. There's some huge problems, some huge not great things about it. But as someone who doesn't have any connection with the OG Twister other than it's just a movie and it's fun and it's what have you, James Paxton and etc. If someone, this is going to offend you. I feel a little scared bringing this up. If someone sat me down at a coffee shop and said, Pete, Twisters 2024 is better than Twister 1996, I wouldn't disagree.
Wow.
But I might agree. Like I'm very open to that debate. I am okay with it, and I'd be like, you know what? You might have a point. I think you're right. 2024 is better than 1996.
Wow. Okay, so do you want me to tell you why you're wrong, or
I'm assuming you would.
So, okay. So you mentioned legacy sequels, and
Sure.
I have no issue with legacy sequels. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, but like fundamentally, I don't have an issue with the idea of them, right? But I like is that what this is? Is it a remake?
Yeah.
Is it like that's like right out of the gate? I don't know
true.
what the hell this is.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a remake. I don't know if it's a sequel. I don't know if it's they call it a standalone sequel, which to me is like, what the hell even is that? That's a cop out. It is. It's a cop out, right? It's them saying we don't really know either. So here's the thing, and I'm going to be all over the place. I wish like I'm foreshadowing my own thoughts right now. I know that when this wraps up, I'm going to wish that this had been more articulate.
Sure.
That it had been, yeah. But I'm going to bounce all over the place because I have so many thoughts. Number one, this film is entertaining. Don't get me wrong. I had fun watching it, but I didn't like it. Right. And that can be true for many films. There's films that are like exciting and have big set pieces and action and whatever, but that doesn't mean that they're good movies. Does that make sense?
A little.
This is a film about tornado hunters, right? Storm chasers, chasing storms. The 1996 film isn't. What's so brilliant about the 1996 film is that that Twister is a film about a husband and wife who are set to get divorced and rekindle their relationship and fall in love again. It's a love story that happens to be set against the backdrop of the Tornado Alley, right? And these their lives as storm chasers. Very much akin to, and one of the things that makes, and there's going to be a lot of people out there that goes, no, you're wrong, you're an idiot. One of the things that makes the film Titanic so great.
Right.
Right? The film Titanic is not about the Titanic. It is a love story between two people. It's a story about how one person can save another person from a life that they will hate, right? Can pull someone out of a societal class that doesn't suit them, Now it happens to be set against the backdrop of this famous disaster. But at its heart, what is Titanic about? It's about two teenagers who fall in love, and how that love, Rose puts it, saves a girl in every way that she could be saved.
Right.
And that's what makes that film so great. And what makes Twister so great is that it's a love story about two, and people could go, well, are two characters falling? No, but that's not what this film's about. There's a love story there because they have two hot young actors in this film, and so if the implication by the end of the film isn't that they're gonna boink, then the Hollywood machine feels like it's failed itself or something, right? It's the film going, well, we better put something in here for the ladies because otherwise they might not like our movie. Like, there's not as much nuance and thought put into that in this film, I feel like, than there is in the 1996 one. Do you have a rebuttal?
I don't really have a rebuttal, and I think it speaks to both my fluidity of, I could be convinced 96 is better, but I very easily could be convinced 2004 is better. Sorry, 2024 is better.
Yeah.
I don't have a rebuttal to what you're saying, because I do see the distinction you're making, especially like with the example of Titanic, with the example of the 1996 film. And I'm trying to put my finger on, okay, yeah, where are we at with the 2024 one? And it's definitely different than the outline that you're giving of, it's more about these specific things with the backdrop of twisters, with the backdrop of a disaster. But to me, that's not a problem. It doesn't work against the 2024 film for me. Yeah, it's different than what you've outlined for sure. But it didn't work against it for me. It didn't come across as tacky or hollow as a result. Like, I didn't feel like the twisters were taking up too much screen time, or it was just all chaotic mess. It still had layered characters who I found interesting. So how they went about it was different than what you described. And I think the examples you gave are very well done, but it didn't work against me for this film.
So then speaking of chaotic mess, what is this film about, right? Because if you watch the trailer, the film's about, it's sort of a ripoff, but we've changed it a little bit from the original, where now instead of...
Oh, sorry, I just want to say, you do make a good point. I just want to not get dropped off on this. It is... I do, if we were defining this, this might not actually be defined as a legacy sequel, like you said, because there's really no character carryovers. It's not like Ghostbusters, or it's not like Top Gun Maverick, where you have a character who you've seen 10, 20, 30 years ago on the screen going, ooh, they've changed in this way. Ooh, they're different in this way. Like, these are, it's a new canvas. So again, it's not a problem, but it's a different category. I did want to hit on that. That's a good point.
So much of this film from the trailer is that, in the 1996 one, they have this machine, Dorothy, and they believe that it's, that they're trying to use this machine in order to study and get more empirical data on tornadoes, because the idea is, if we can study them, if we can understand more about how they work and why they happen and all of this stuff, then we can create advanced warning systems, right? Like, we can save lives.
Yep.
And the trailer for this one is like, it's a Dorothy machine. We think we can stop one, right? Like, we think we can disrupt one and kill it and stop it right in its path. Well, it turns out actually the first 15 minutes and the last 20 minutes of this film are about that, because it's a plot line that we completely abandoned for the majority of this film. Not to mention the fact that Dorothy 5, which is the Dorothy machine that they have in this film, and they make a little crack about, like, well, it's field tested, right? Like a weird nod to the original, I guess, except it doesn't really make sense, because a huge plot point of Twister is that Dorothy 4 is their like, there were only ever 4 made. That's their last shot. And if this one doesn't work, which is why they end up just leaving it strapped to the truck and let the Twister take the whole truck, because they have to make sure it doesn't get tipped over or whatever, because this is their last shot. And so to have this old, rusty, beat up Dorothy, and then not even, to say it's field tested, but then to not name drop or mention or pay any respect to the characters from the first one, again, leaves you in this, like, it's this MacGuffin that doesn't really end up being a MacGuffin, because they completely abandon it and go for water barrels afterwards. And I'm just like, is that a tie? Is this supposed to have at one point been in the possession of Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton's characters, or is this completely unrelated to that, unconnected to that, separate timeline, separate story, separate universe, and that's just a hit you over the head Easter egg. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's also a dumb plan. Because ultimately, like, the thing is, okay, we're going to study this tornado. And once we study this tornado, once we get this data, we have this data on our computer. We can start doing important and useful and helpful things with this, and we will save lives. Versus what they're trying to do in this film, which is like, hey, if we have a trailer with 30 of these barrels and we happen to leave this in the path of a tornado,
it seems incredibly low tech when everything is.
No, but it's like then we can stop the tornado. Well, great. Up until when you're just going to have a warehouse of these things and a team of hundreds of trucks positioned all over the place, like ambulance depots, so that you can send out, like, well, they stopped this one in the middle of a field. Great. What betterment has happened? Nothing. Oh, we thought we could and we did. Wasn't that cool? Yeah, it was cool. Now what?
There's a lot to break down with everything you've just said, and I do want to chime in.
All right.
You do make some interesting points. So there's a lot to break down. I don't know where to start. But I do think you hit on something. It feels crazy that in a so technology advanced environment that it still comes down to we have to take this rickety old trailer and drop it in the exact right spot and hope for the best.
Yeah.
That's interesting, point one. I do think there's this interesting time path that if it does seem to be successful, that maybe it's more of like a systemic change that you make that, okay, if this material does solve the problem, you start incorporating it into ingredients of construction, like into cement, into drywall, into sheet, like shingles, so that when a storm is going, yes, you're always going to have the collateral damage of one or two buildings go off, but then that kind of can stop it in its tracks, and instead of destroying 12 buildings, you only hit one or two.
I guess, but
maybe I don't know.
But yeah, I don't know.
One thing I did have as a red flag on here is I did find the gimmick, like, yes, it's a copy paste of we have some objective we're going to do for research of tornadoes classified as that, and this is the 2.0 of that. Like, this is this film's version of it. And I didn't find it gimmicky. Like, I'll get on the same bandwagon with you on that. I found it... I felt like I could get behind more of the one with Dorothy just because it's like, okay, we're advancing our research, and to me it was a bit more easier to kind of put the pin on exactly what they're trying to do. This one, I just at times I was just a little unclear about scientifically how are they like, what are they actually going to be accomplishing from what they're doing? And I just couldn't get behind the whole gimmick as much, and I just found it a bit hokey. And I found it a bit unsatisfying because at least in the first film, it's very clear that there's this mountain there and they do things and it comes to a resolution at the end. With this one, I found it was very pointless because, like you said, it's dropped a bit at the beginning, it's dropped a bit at the end. But for me, it has no resolution. All their hardships was almost fruitless labor in that it quote unquote kind of worked, but then they're at the airport and they're like, yeah, no real change is going to come as a result of this because they'll just blame it on the weather system change or that there was this oil refinery. Like they basically, like, in a grocery list of like, these are the reasons no one will believe it worked, but we'll know, and that'll be enough. And I'm like, okay, so as far as your advancements, nothing has actually been accomplished here.
Yeah.
Like, at least in the first one, there's a resolution. It's like, hey, they've done what they've wanted to do, and here we go. This one, it's like, wow. Good thing the characters are good because the plot was not. They didn't check that box off.
Yeah. There's so many. There's so many things in this film that feel like direct carbon copies. Right down to reusing script points, right? Like, there's a scene at the beginning of Twister where, Bill Paxton's there to get the divorce paper signed or whatever, and the whole team, like Philip Seymour Hoffman's character is like, "Whoa, Bill, welcome back," and Bill's like, "I'm not back." Well, our female protagonist in this film says the exact, like, it's a beat for beat thing. So we have that happen. We have it's not picking up dust now and dropping dust. It was what she was like, holding a flower or holding grass or looking at the grass to figure out what the tornado was going to do. There's the house. There's the obligatory midway through, instead of at Aunt whatever her name is, the house where they all stop and they have, dinner and breakfast and hang out, and we hear a heartfelt story from the past. Well, that happens in this one, right? Except it's with the mom from Liar Liar, by the way, who looks
right. I was like, where is she from? And I eventually found it out.
So it's just there was so many like on the nose. The fact that there's the big drive-in scene, and then in this we have a big outdoor at night. Quick, get into the basement. People aren't buying it. Everyone run, and then the whole climax happens in a movie theater, right? Yeah. So it's a movie screen, which, by the way, I don't understand how this movie, like the guy says this building's not built for this. Well, apparently, especially the exact footprint of the screen, because it's not like half the building gets ripped down. It's just the movie screen disappears and there's a perfect rectangular hole in the wall.
Right.
What?
Listen, so here's the thing. Yes, it might not fit the category of legacy sequel, but whatever, we'll put it into an umbrella term of whatever it falls onto, reboot, sequel, somewhere in between, doesn't matter. This is the hallmark of legacy sequels, where you ingrain and you weave in different catchphrases and different things, and it pays homage, and it's just kind of fun Easter eggs where, like, again, for the people that it's a standalone movie, they go, yeah, he's, whatever example you gave, they just watch it and they move on. But for the tenured fan like you're like, oh, and in your case, it didn't work. But like some people might go, oh yeah, like they're in a theater this time. That's what happened at the drive-in. Like, that's so neat. And like, even for me, I'm not a huge Twister 96 fan, but the at the beginning when they made reference to the main character's mom being like, yeah, we go for a feeding and go all have like food together, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's exactly like in the 96 one where they have that friend and they all eat together. And so there was even like little like hat tips that I guess I just enjoyed it more. And I get what you're saying. Obviously, some of them didn't land for you, but I think that's what's fun about it.
And don't get me wrong, it's a fun movie.
Sure.
But it's like, there's those movies where, you look back and you could watch someone far more intelligent than I or you that has picked one film and spent the time to really research and go through, and like, there's a reason why the hands on the clock are pointed this way, and this is foreshadowing like these layers to a film that you watch as a fan hundreds of times and you miss until someone really explains, and then you just see the film as this whole new incredible masterpiece. I feel like such a thing would exist for the 1996 one. I don't see that ever happening for this film. Right? This feels much less like a piece of art, like a love letter to filmmaking, and this feels more like a summer blockbuster. It feels more like a popcorn flick.
Honestly, I probably wouldn't disagree with anything you just said. Like, I think that's fair, and in 20 years it'd be interesting to see how this movie's viewed. But I think there's just some merit and accomplishment to having a good popcorn flick. This is a movie that I'm happy I saw it in the theaters. I'm happy I saw it. I wish I had seen it sooner, actually, but I'm happy that I saw it within a few months of it being released and not like 3 years later or something. You know,
I wish I'd seen it in IMAX. I think I would have had a better experience in IMAX.
I do wish I had seen it. I saw it in a theater that was better than like the Ma and Pa theater on the Richter scale, but it was not IMAX. It was not like the craziest of crazy screens. That would have been, I think, fun. But I guess I'm just saying I'm okay with what it is, and you know, I'm okay with it just being a popcorn flip, because in this day of modern film going in the theaters, there's some real duds. There's some real, you know what? Was this worth seeing in theaters? Nah, not really. And I resoundingly was like, no, this was worth it.
I'm really disappointed in you for something you just said.
Which part?
That you said Richter scale, and that would have been like the perfect, like to say like the Fajita Pearson scale, right? Like the theater was, you know, it wasn't an F5 or anything, but it was like.
It's true. Actually.
But you went Richter scale? Come on.
I can't remember the other one off the top of my head for sure.
I think the soundtrack in the first one's much better. I think it's got that 90s adventure action.
I'll go with you on that. This was a little too country for me. I'm not a country person, but I can put up with something. But I would have liked a mix. Like, it just seemed like country beginning to end.
Yeah. There's a scene. Yeah. It's like a half kudos, but also a little bit of a swing and a miss for me, was the fact that our main character, hang on, what's her name?
Ooh.
The actress's name is Daisy Edgar Jones, and she plays a character named... Is it Kate? It's probably not Kate. Twisters.
Yeah, Kate. Kate.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kate. Okay. The film starts with us seeing all of her friends die.
Sure does.
And there was a part of me that was like, oh, that's shocking. Right? Like I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting I wasn't expecting to see all these people die.
Right.
And then a second after I had that thought, my next thought was, but I don't care.
Oh.
I don't know who any of these people are.
Right.
It's 5 minutes into the film. I don't care about these people.
But you don't need to. It's the same with Helen Hunt's parents or whoever gets sucked out in the tornado.
No, but that's different because it's
not. You don't give a rat's tush about who that guy is. It's about the emotional significance to the main character.
You don't think there is an emotional difference for a viewer in watching 5 minutes into a film, watching an adult woman lose three of her adult friends who are tornado chasers, who know and understand the risks, all die, versus watching a 5-year-old watch her who is just a family, who are just victims.
Yeah.
Watch her father get sucked out of the storm cellar while trying to hold it shut to save his family. There is a difference.
I understand intellectually, like on a script page of a tally, what you're saying. But at the end of the day, it's still incredible human loss. And if the characters are done right and in a right way, it's still impactful to them. And it was for me.
Sure. And had they been, I would be agreeing with you. Hold
on. Speaking of 5-year-old, I just got to go on a segue. You and Carl are working as a plug to the show on a series where have you watched where you do first time watch, where it's movies that you haven't seen and you make the other person watch it. And some of the movies that you're walking through right now are the Conjuring universe movies. And I just had a moment that I was
got one left.
completely I was a little taken off. I heard a child's voice in my basement when I'm sitting by myself.
Just right now?
Yeah, I literally almost stroked out.
Like it genuinely spooked you?
I was genuinely spooked. So I'm like, where is this voice coming from? It was my child who had snuck downstairs without me knowing and was standing there watching me record with you. Anyway.
Except levitating a little?
No, not even remotely. No.
Oh, okay.
That's where it was just a child's voice and no answer to why it was here. And
holding a doll you've never seen before?
Yeah. It's holding 600 stuffed toys I've never seen before.
A couple of things of note, character-wise, or actor performance-wise. We have what's-his-face in this film.
Glenn Powell?
No. The guy from Hamilton.
Oh, yeah. And then in this film, what was his name? It was...
Anthony Ramos is the actor.
Yeah. Javi?
Horrible performance. Just awful. Like,
you thought it was that bad?
Oh, every line delivery was just monotone as hell. Like, I feel like this is and maybe like everyone's got a bad day at the office type of thing, but it got me kind of wondering, like, okay, are you a good actor? Mm-hmm. Or were you great on Broadway in a musical?
Right.
And now you have a name that people are willing to cast, but you're never going to win an Oscar. Is just what I was wondering, right? Because
man, you got the spiciest of the takes for this movie. I didn't have a problem with him. I agree. Maybe like he wasn't in the same circle of trust as our main characters. But I didn't have a problem with him. I had a problem with one of the lines he delivered where I just didn't understand Javi's intent behind it, where he says, where it was when he was giving the USB drive to help them along. And he literally said, there was a time I would have done anything for you.
Right.
And I didn't really understand that because to me, I'm going, okay, does that mean do you mean that platonically in that then what's changed? Because you're still friends, like nothing's changed. Do you mean that romantically? Well, the entire time you knew her, she was in a relationship with someone else and you haven't spoken in the last 5 years. So I just didn't I didn't understand the line delivery from either perspective, romantically or platonically. So it's not his fault. It's more script writing and not me not understanding that.
And I think I can actually help out with this one. I think it's bad writing. Also of note, there's there's Javi's friend, the douchey guy that has no, he's just fixated on this let's get rich and get this done thing. The guy that always wears the ball cap and the glasses, you know who I mean?
Yeah.
That's David Cornsweet.
Should I know who that is?
That's our new Superman. That's James Gunn's Superman.
Oh, for real?
Yep.
Interesting. I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, this was a pretty two-dimensional role for him, right? Like it's hard
guess.
to, and you never really get a look at his face because he's dressed like he's about to rob a 7-Eleven the whole time. But there's that. There's also a couple of things that I sort of jotted down while I was watching. The inside the tornado thing in this one, we get that we're in the tornado. It was such a spectacular and emotional for our characters and once in a lifetime opportunity for Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt. And in this one, Kate's did you see that? And Glenn Powell, because, they drive into tornadoes and light fireworks off, was just like, yep. And it was like in the scene, like it was not spectacular at all. Like it just didn't, that scene didn't matter or mean anything. Question for you.
Before you go on, I just do want to piggyback on what you're saying. I do feel kind of related to what you're saying of like the something was lost in that kind of of the Twister, inside the Twister version of Here Where We Are. I do just want to say, as much as I like Glenn Powell and the main characters that we had, something with the writing and the depiction of them in this show, the way they were depicted as YouTubers was so cliche and bad.
This ties into my question I was about to ask you. Actually,
okay,
100%.
Ask your question and then we'll continue.
Who the hell's switching the live video feeds?
Right?
So,
like, come
so
on.
they're doing this live video and they've got cameras all like, unless they have the most, like, they've got this ragtag gear for everything else except the most advanced Twitch gear that anyone's ever, because it's literally the feed that people are watching on YouTube or Facebook or wherever is switching from truck to drone footage to whatever. And I'm like, it's just like, it doesn't work that way, really.
No.
And so, and I mean, there probably is, like, that technology probably exists and you probably could outfit your whole setup, but these people haven't done that. And so to me, it was just lazy filmmaking.
Yes.
It was them going, what would be kind of artsy and cool is if we do all this through live streaming cameras, because we've acknowledged that these are like social media storm chasers, and without giving any thought into, is this realistic? And you probably could have gotten away with that bullshit shenanigans like 20 years ago. But now, in a day and age where so many people are so tech savvy, and especially like live stream and video and whatever else savvy, a lot of people are going to call you on your bullshit for that.
I think I agree in the fault of this. If this was a movie from 2007, I would have watched this and go, wow, this hasn't aged well, but hey, it was 2007. You did the best with what you had. This is 2024. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Also, the curfew.
Remind me on that. I'm drawing a blank.
So this town has just been devastated.
Oh, yeah.
Destroyed. And there's a cop or a town official or a bylaw officer or whatever. I don't know what he is.
Sure.
Driving down the road with the megaphone going, due to the, blah, 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 a curfew is now in effect, blah. And I'm like, a curfew? You floor-licking douchebag. Are you literally telling all of these people who are looking at their flattened homes, stay in your homes? Like, it was just the weirdest thing in a dilapidated town where nobody had a house anymore to have a guy going up and down the street announcing a curfew and stay in your homes.
I don't know much about large-scale disaster protocol. In my mind, what I wondered if that, and this might not even be realistic, so then it's BS and it doesn't matter. But what I wondered if this was related to is like to prevent looting, and maybe this is a common practice in disasters to say everyone needs to vacate after this point to prevent looting, and then you can come back in the morning to do what you need to do.
Yeah, but that's not a curfew. Go where? Vacate and go where?
Well, they're not going to be sleeping in their homes. It's structurally unsafe. Like, they have to leave eventually, so they got to go to the neighboring town's hotel, Motel 8.
But I
don't know. I would just, if there's anyone who's an actual disaster response specialist on our listenership,
or a storm chaser.
The storm chaser. Maybe this is a common practice. I don't know.
Yeah. There's the final thing that I want to hate on.
Hold on. We kind of skipped over it a little bit in a way.
Okay.
I just want to say one hate that I have because it's just.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, hit me.
Well, no, I've been agreeing with some of your hates, so it's not that I'm completely defending it, but we hit on the trope of the, it's the 2.0 version of the trope. We hit on that part, but the trope that I hated that was really bothersome with our main female character here. So we've got this person who's devastated by the tornado encounter. She gets lured back in. She for various reasons, she wants to work with Tyler and get things going and all this and all that, and then that's when we're off to the races.
Right.
What really bothered me was the whole tired trope, and I'll put this with you, it's lazy writing, that's all it is. The "we need you." Of the 6 billion people on this earth, you're the only one who can do this.
Yeah.
Like, everyone listening to this show is replaceable. Whatever job or role anyone plays on this earth, and I don't mean this in a rude way, but like, there's no one person that is the only person that can do something.
Yep.
And so it's just a tired, lazy trope as far as lazy writing that I will agree. For that one, I rolled my eyes. I'm like, honestly, there is no one else who's better qualified. And you know what? Even if she was the best of the best back when this happened, she's been out of the game for 5 years. Like,
yeah.
Insert any profession on earth. Yeah, someone might still eventually be good at their job still, but like, there's going to be rust and cobwebs, let alone psychological trauma that they're afraid to make any decision because the last time it cost 3 people their lives. Like, I honestly just, that was one thing that bothered me. Continue with your thing. I just didn't want that to be lost in some of the carried over tropes.
No, that's an excellent point. Excellent point. The only other thing that I hated, but it feels like kind of a big one, is the way that the tornadoes looked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know what? Are the tornadoes in this film more realistic looking? Sure, maybe. I don't know, right? I haven't seen a lot in real life. I don't... I don't claim to be an authority on that. However, even when they were potentially realistic looking in this film, they were never convincing to me because they were blatantly CGI. Like, there was so much CGI. And in the 1996 one, do they all hold up? No. Do some of them actually look quite good still? Yeah. But what they all have in common in the 1996 one is, even if it's like there's a little bit of weird compositing going on, or it's a little bit they all feel tangible. Like, even if it's not a realistic looking tornado, you still buy that it's there. You know, whereas in this one, it's like, well, it's CGI.
Right.
Especially in scenes where they're like, you know, in the street and everyone's running from the tornado and they're running scared while cars on either side of them are being thrown up into the... How much do you weigh? Like, and maybe there's some weird science there that I'm... surface area, I don't know, but it seemed like, for the sake of wicked action shots, physics was, pardon the pun, thrown to the wind.
Or on a holiday, yeah.
Because it just didn't... There were several shots where it was like, okay, I'm sorry, you would be soaring long before that would get ripped out of the ground.
Right.
Right? And so that, to me, was just too much. Like but very CGI looking to me.
Right.
Like there may have been one or two moments, and in fact, my favorite storm moments were the storm moments where you couldn't see the tornado.
Yes.
Right. And so I said at the beginning of the film, there was one scene that I said, or at the beginning of the episode, there was one scene where I was like, that's a cool scene. And even though it was a ripoff of the drive-in scene, I liked everyone down in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
And him and Glenn Powell crawling along the swimming pool as this truck comes and lands. And that felt tangible to me. That felt scary and intense because it was believable versus big CGI tornado. Yeah.
It's good in that moment because it's showing intensity on a individual scale. Like it's 4 people in a pool. It's not, you kind of get a bit of fatigue sometimes when it's like 17 farm buildings getting destroyed because you kind of lose the gravity of the situation. When you're zoomed in on like 3 people just hanging on for their lives, you go, oof. Okay, I can relate to that. The intensity is there. So I agree. That scene was pretty good.
Do you have anything else? Things you loved? Stuff that you're lukewarm on?
Listen, I know I put this as a red flag. I'm not really going to mark points against it. I know there was the whole issue of Helen Hunt not coming back. I understand maybe it was a decision on her part. She didn't want to come back. Maybe they just wanted a clean break and do something new. But my goodness.
It would have been better.
But, here's the thing. My goodness, I would have applauded if in that scene in the kitchen where she's shell-shocked drinking a glass of water in her kitchen, and then the mother comes down the stairs like, who is it? If that would have been Helen Hunt, my holy heaven.
I said the exact same thing to Brienne when the movie was over. I said, change the scene, change the dynamic of that character. Because that would, and make it a Helen Hunt that is disapproving of her daughter Kate storm chasing because Bill Paxton's character died off screen between the films chasing a storm, and now Helen Hunt has sworn off storm chasing, and then maybe you bring her into the finale, maybe to get her daughter out of a spot of trouble. She's got to, and you even do like the Ghostbusters Echo one where they you pull the sheet off and it's one of Bill's old red trucks or whatever. But it would make sense as to and that would explain, it would fix so much because all of a sudden you have Helen Hunt there, and also that's how you got your hands on a Dorothy machine. Because your mom and dad were the original Bagoos. So
it's interesting.
It's such a shame.
Funny that we're on the same page, but I'm going to end off with a positive note. That's all I have left to say, because it's not. It's good. You're going to be surprised by my score, and the listener might be surprised by my score because I've spent just as much time as you kind of dumping on this movie. But I will just say I really enjoyed the chemistry of our main 2 characters, and that's what really drove it for me. Obviously, yes, there's a lot of plot points that are simple carryovers, but it's the characters that drive it for me. It's the characters that keep me invested and keep me interested. I enjoyed the ending. Honestly, those hydraulics going into the airport pavement, although is inaccurate and unlikely, that's not actually going to happen, I did think is a fun movie moment. It caught me by surprise, and I had a lot of fun with it. And I'm drinking the Glenn Powell Kool-Aid. I think he's definitely becoming a star. I know Hollywood has this cyclical thing where it just seems like there's just a magical list somewhere that if you're on this list, and the list keeps changing, but if you're on this list, that's who they deem are the moneymakers at the time, and those people just get in frequent projects and are kind of the hot to trot. Matt Damon went through it, Brad Pitt went through it, and so on and so forth. I think obviously clearly Glenn Powell's on that list right now, where he's on these kind of big popcorn flicks, getting lots of opportunities and screen time. But I think it's warranted. It's not just that it's a pretty face or the hot, I don't mean hot attractive, but the hot commodity. But he really has a charisma to him, And I know it was a bit tropey, but I did really enjoy his character, that he was kind of coming across as a huge jerk, a huge piece of crap. And then it didn't take like 3/4 of the movie to peel back layers of, you know what? No, this is what he's all about. It kind of turned the corner quickly to go, no, okay, we misread him. Obviously, it was a bit of a scheme by the screenwriters, but then now we can actually get to enjoy him as a character. And I thought she reciprocated it as well. She really held her own. She's a bit more scarred than she is, so there's a bit of a different dynamic of what the charisma is that they bring to the screen. She's dealing with a lot more emotionally, psychologically, but I enjoyed it. So I think Glenn Powell's coming into his own, and I thought our main characters were good and captivating to me, and I had a lot of fun with this movie.
I didn't dislike their chemistry, but it wasn't the chemistry of a married couple on the verge of divorce, where there's still some feelings and there's still some sexual tension, but there's also there's also still all of the reasons why you're getting divorced.
I completely agree with you, but I think what you're describing is a bit of a unicorn. Like, I think, what plays into that is Bill Paxton. What plays into that is Helen Hunt. What plays into that is tropes of the 90s that have aged in a fun way. And what plays into that is good screenwriting and things of that nature. So what I will agree is, yeah, it's completely different. But also, I'm not sure if you could recreate something that dynamic.
No, and I think then that's one of those scenarios where you ask the question, like, I'm not opposed to remakes and I'm not opposed to legacy sequels, as long as you are checking the box. If someone hooks you up to a lie detector, if you pass when they ask you, do you think there's a reason to do, like, is there, aside from we'll make a bunch of money, right? Do you have something that you feel is a reasonable reason to continue it?
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. Fun fact about Glenn Powell: his first credit is as Long-Fingered Boy in Spy Kids 3: Game Over in 2003.
Haven't seen it, but Long-Fingered Boy for the win.
And he was also in The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh,
as Traitor Number 1. I'm guessing that was not a speaking role. Yeah. Are you ready to rate this?
I think I am.
All right, sir. Scale of 0 to 10. How would you rank Twisters?
The way you pronounced that was pretty rank.
Rank.
I honestly didn't know how to score it when I came out of the theater. I had some initial sour tastes of all the gripes that we were chatting about, but the more I thought about it, the more positives I came through with, and I said, you know what? I didn't say this the way you said it, but you said, yeah, in 20 years, will this age to be the same level of have some intellectual and character richness to it? Maybe not. But man, it was a fun summer flick. It really, at times, just had really great, compelling characters. It was a lot of fun. I felt like I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, and I was super happy to spend the money to see it in a theater. And for that, it's a good film, so it's a 7 out of 10. Definitely not higher at this point, but definitely a lot lower, and I'm very comfortable with giving it a 7. What did you give it? I'm assuming it's going to be less than a 7.
It is less than a 7. Yeah. I'll tell you, I give it a 4 out of 10.
Okay.
Is it a train wreck? No. Is it fun? If you're looking for something that you can just kind of turn on and shut your brain off and watch pretty people chase storms for 2 hours, then this probably ticks those boxes.
Right.
Is it a piece of art? No, I don't think so. Is it great? No. And I don't understand how this has a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes. To me, that's really high. That's really high.
Yeah.
it's it's not even quotable, really, in the way that the first one. This film doesn't have its, we've got cows. Like, that's a thing that people, big Twister fan or not, right? I'm gonna have to let you go. We've got cows. Like, it's just a funny, great, reoccurring. We've got another cow. Actually, I think that's the same one. Like, this film doesn't have those. It doesn't have those stay with you things. So I give it a 4 out of 10. If I wouldn't judge someone for watching it, but if someone asked me if I think they should watch it, I would probably softly steer them in a different direction.
Softly.
Well, I would say, like, have you seen the original?
Right.
And if the answer is no, then I would say no, watch the first one. You will get more bang for your buck.
Right.
But yeah. Would you watch this last month? I don't know.
It's been a while. I'm going to do a phased approach where I just do a few things at a time. So I'm going to cover 3 movies I watched in the last few weeks. I watched Deadpool and Wolverine.
Huh?
I did. I was a bit tough on it. I laughed a lot, for sure. But I've never been in the same hype camp as a lot of people have been about this. It's just been something that came out. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You're going to be upset. I gave it a 4 out of 10.
That's fine.
I think I'm being a little bit harsh. I could be maybe convinced to a 5.
Okay.
I did laugh a lot. It was definitely a movie going experience. But it is just what it is for me. I don't know if I'd ever need to watch it ever again. I might watch parts of it again. It's definitely interesting in anytime you get Hugh Jackman on the screen and Ryan Reynolds. They are a fun duo together. They feed off each other, but it was what it was for me.
Right.
The second and third thing I watched were both M. Night Shyamalan films, which again is in line with Carl and Brady watching some M. Night Shyamalan films in their series that they're going through. I watched 2002's Signs and 2004's The Village. I gave The Village an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I gave Signs a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it, but just slightly less. I love these two films. For me, this isn't earth-shattering, but they're both vintage M. Night Shyamalan. I really love the storytelling in both of them. In The Village, I love the color palette. I love the costume design. There's a lot of things that if you, even beyond the M. Night Shyamalan storytelling, twisting, all that kind of stuff that comes with it, there's just a lot of aspects of that film that I really enjoy. The cinematography, the landscape, everything about it, on top of what the film actually kind of does and tackles and takes you on this adventure. So the acting is great. I'm really digging Joaquin Phoenix back in the OG M. Night Shyamalan days, and Signs as well. I enjoyed it, just slightly less. Because it takes place in 2002 versus a timeless feel like in The Village. It's got a bit of a dated feel to it, but this is. We went through a phase where we reviewed some Mel Gibson movies in the past, and with Bandit and with Bad Santa, and we covered some Mel Gibson movies that were just good Mel Gibson roles, and Signs is one of those good Mel Gibson roles where he's playing something a bit different than he has. It's not his younger years where he's playing the action star. It's not his older years where he's playing different things. He plays this fatherly figure, and it's someone with this scarred past, and he just plays it so well. And I'm talking about these movies together because they came out so close together and they're directed by the same person, but I really enjoy the acting of Mel Gibson, Joaquin Phoenix, and I miss vintage M. Night Shyamalan. I feel like Signs in The Village were lightning in a bottle. I like some of M. Night Shyamalan's more recent films, but there's something about the first thing that captures your heart, and that's what those movies are to me. What did you watch this week?
Nothing. No, we finished the Hobbit series with my mom.
You and I have a weird human relationship in that, like, sometimes the things we learn about each other is like literally talking to each other, and then sometimes it's like listening to an episode of the show, because I listen to the show where you and Carl are catching up about things. So I did know this. I'm so excited for you and your mom to go through this journey together. Find it interesting. I get the reasons why, but you're going Hobbit, then Lord of the Rings. Very excited. So you finished the Hobbit with your mom.
Yep. And the extended editions.
Yeah.
And it might be the first time I've ever watched them in this order.
Sure.
Because normally it's like, well, let's watch Lord of the Rings and then we'll make a game day decision whether we want to keep going or not. And not quite to the level that I will at the end of Return of the King.
Mm-hmm.
But the end of Battle of the Five Armies had me tearing up.
Good.
Like elicited because I wasn't watching it with the recent experience of watching Lord of the Rings.
Right. Yeah.
I got so much. There's still stuff where I'm like rolling my eyes, but far fewer.
Sure. Yeah.
And I appreciated the films much more.
Good.
Than I feel like I normally do.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, like
you know what's coming.
Emotional response when Bilbo's saying goodbye to all the dwarves so he can head back with Gandalf, and he says, if you ever find yourself in the Shire or at, tea is at 4. And what's he? Hang on, I gotta look it up. But say what you were gonna say.
It's just the benefit of this type of view is you know what's coming next. Like that now you've started with the appetizer, and then the main course of the well done steak in Fellowship, Two Towers, and Return of the King is next. Like it's. Yeah, it's you're in an enviable position. You know what's coming next.
Yeah. So he says, so Bilbo says to Balin, he says, "Could you tell the others I say goodbye?" And he says, "Tell them yourself." And he turns around and he sees the whole company is there to see him off, and he says, "If you ever pass through Bag End, tea is at 4. You are welcome anytime. Don't bother knocking." And it's just this, and I'm emotional, right? Because I'm like, what he is saying is, thank you. You are my friends. And going on this journey with you has changed me for the better.
Yep.
And I was a mess. Yeah. So it's super fun. Not as fun as the fact that she's coming over tomorrow to watch Fellowship.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. And so it's like, but what was great was I think she went into them skeptical of what her enjoyment level would be.
Sure.
How interesting she'd actually find them. I think she was like, well, my kid wants to watch these with me, so I'll watch them with them. Yeah. And she was like, from the end of the first film, she's like, none of them better die. And like, she was like invested in it. And then at the end of Desolation, when we get that cliffhanger ending where Smaug is flying towards Lake Town and Bilbo's just like, what have we done?
Right.
And then the screen goes black. She was like audibly angry that was the and then she was going to have to wait. Right. So it's whatever, like, I'm stoked. And I've just said to her, like, I said, like, these films are divisive among fans.
Sure.
I said, if you enjoyed these, just wait. Right. That, because the next trilogy is truly a masterpiece.
Yeah.
And in some ways are still divisive among super diehard fans, right? The Where's Tom Bombadil bunch. Where's the scourging of the Shire? You know, like those people. But it's great and it's powerful, and we're going to do the extended editions again. And I think she'll
Rings
just
of
get a real
Power
kick
fall into this
out
or
of
not?
getting a little bit more time with old Bilbo and seeing that journey.
Yeah.
And then also just how long it takes to get out of the Shire. You're going to get to see a lot more Hobbiton life.
Yeah.
Right? Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin at the pub, at the Green Dragon, and all of this stuff, right? Like, I think that will be, I'm curious to see, and here's the really great thing. She listens to the podcast, so I can't say this because it's a spoiler. But there'll be a lot of things that it will just catch her off guard, and I don't think she'll see coming.
Of note, is Rings of Power falling into this rewatch or no?
Highly unlikely.
Okay.
No,
okay.
that's just a deep. It's the same with, like, I think once we're done the Middle Earth stuff, I'm gonna get her all caught up on Star Wars, but I'm not gonna
Nice.
show Mandalorian and
No.
crap like that, right?
Yeah.
So
Cool.
I don't know. I'll leave that up to her. Hey, do you want to watch a show that kind of plays a little loose and wild with the canon? Yeah. Did I watch anything else? Watch that. Still watching House.
Nice.
Any other films? No, I think that's it.
Nice.
Wrap it up, sir.
Thank you so much for tuning in and listening, whether you're new to the show, just tuning in for Twisters, whether you're a regular listener and you've been with us for quite some time. We appreciate you clicking in, listening. Like, follow, subscribe on all our socials below. We do appreciate a like and a follow wherever possible. We do appreciate comments and feedback wherever you can. And check out our Patreon page, our merchandise page. It's ways for us to receive some support, to pay some bills, to keep the show going, and it's ways for us to give you perks back. On there, we have
Hot sauce
everything.
videos.
We've got bonus content in the form of bonus video episodes, bonus video shows. The most recent one is an episode of us eating 10 insanely spicy wings in the form of a game and in the name of charity. And it was a lot of fun to make. If fun equals pain, then it was a lot of fun. And it's definitely worth checking out. For as little as $1 a month, you get access to that video as well as all of our other Patreon exclusives.
Turns out it's actually, so I was creeping around our Patreon, and I don't know if Patreon did something or if the dollars changed, or it's actually $1.50 a month now.
Oh, I wonder if it was like $1 American, but then
maybe they switched. Now they're supporting Canadian dollars, or I don't know, buck a month American, or I don't know.
What I will say is
links in the description.
I feel like this is an important way to end the show on. Much like 1996's PG-13 warning, I should give a warning about the Movie Men podcast where there are intense depictions of very bad weather. That is literally on the parental warning for Twister.
Really?
Intense depiction of very bad weather.
Was that your convoluted way of saying you drop an F-bomb in the video?